Sykes Millionaire Mentor and Trader here in Thailand, Phuket, in my private little pool. I'm just getting in right now. Oh, it's a little cold, but I gotta show you this view. I am risking my iPhone because I want you to get inspired to see what you're capable of. Oh, the water is spraying back into me. I gotta back off. But there's so much beauty in this world and so much freedom, and it's truly a shame that so many of you guys don't get to experience this in person. I get messages from you guys saying, oh, I love posting, I love you posting this stuff, you know, I live vicariously through you, and I appreciate that, you know, I want to try and show you what I see. I've been to over 100 countries, you know, I don't even make that much money in the grand scheme of things, especially on Wall Street. You know, there are many people on Wall Street who make much more than me, but I can make, you know, a few $100,000 or a few million a year in the stock market, and that's all you really need for absolute freedom. You know, $500 a day, $1,000 a day keeps the real job away. And many people don't realize that. They think that you have to make like 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, $1 billion to have this kind of life. And you just don't. And I also have to tell you, you know, I know a few billionaires. I've met them. I've hung out with them. They are weird as fuck. Too much money is also a bad thing. You have to be careful because then everyone's just using you for money. You don't know who your real friends are. You know, everyone's trying to get something out of you. You're just bombarded with people who want something. And, you know, I only have a few $1 million, okay? I pay a lot of taxes, but I still get bombarded. And that's okay because I love teaching and I love reaching out to so many of you guys because, as I said, I've been to so many countries, I've met so many people from all over the world, and really people just want freedom. You know, no job, no boss that you hate, no debts, and too many people are not fulfilling their potential. And that's where I come in. You know, I got started teaching just because I was like, hey, you know, I'm a real trader in an industry full of scams, and I think all I have to do is be real and there'll be a good business there. And I was right, and there is. And I have a few millionaire students already, more than anybody else. And my millionaire students also teach in live webinars every week. Tim Grattani, Michael Good, and my upcoming millionaire student, Mark Crook, who's, you know, made like $600,000 now in a few years. But it's not just about the business anymore for me. It's gone a little bit deeper. You know, I actually really care about you guys and your success. And I know that sounds cheesy. I know some people won't believe it, but no one would work as hard as I do for just the money. Okay, I'm working literally every single day. Obviously, I have a pretty good office view, so it's not like your typical work, but I slave away. Even my fiance is like, what are you doing? Like, you've already made it. And I've made it, yes, but this isn't about me. This is about you. And I get so much enjoyment and fulfillment when it clicks for you guys. You know, when you start to realize, wait a minute, I can actually use my small account to my advantage. I don't have to buy and hold. I don't have to diversify. I don't have to invest in mutual funds and try and make 10, 20% per year like finance and the mainstream media would have you believe. You know, when it clicks, when you guys start taking advantage of small trades where, you know, big hedge funds cannot take these trades. Big mutual funds can't take them. That's why you don't hear about strategies like mine on CNBC. They don't talk about this stuff because it's not scalable. Scalability is a big issue. That's why I'm not running a $1 billion hedge fund. My strategy works better for people with small accounts. It works better for me with small accounts. I had a hedge fund once upon a time, okay? I had a few $1 million under management, but never really was making enough to get into the big boy league. And I say that not ashamed, not embarrassed, just reality. I don't want you to think that you're gonna learn my strategy and make $100 million or make $1 billion. That's not how it works. The top penny stock traders in the world make a few $1 million per year, and that's it. The good news is that is all you need in life. And as I said, it's been clicking for more and more students lately. Jane, one of my students, female traders too, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, but she just passed $100,000 in profits. Another one of my students, Jeff, just passed 100,000. One of my challenge students, NH, he didn't want me to use his full name, but he just passed 300,000, and he bought his dream home and his dream car, and he wanted to thank me. And I love that. The money that you make is not just money that you can spend. It's kind of like your batting average. It shows that you've learned and you've become self-sufficient. All of my top students don't need me anymore. I'm just training wheels. They don't follow my picks. They don't follow my alerts. You should never follow my alerts or anyone's alerts. You should use alerts. You should use different stocks and ideas for you to see, wait a minute, here's a good play. Let me see how it plays out. And you learn. You have to think of yourself as a scientist. Always testing different strategies and refining. A lot of people think, oh, Tim, you're just known for shorting scams. Okay, that's what you do. Well, yeah, that's how I made my second million. But did you know I made my first million by buying penny stock breakouts? Did you know I made my third million going long and short? You can't just have one strategy because the markets change. Now, my patterns still work, which is freakishly fantastic, but also kind of annoying because even when I'm on vacation like here in Thailand, I still feel compelled to trade because frankly I just can't ignore some gimmies. You know, I made $2,000 the other night flying into Thailand, and I didn't even have internet access, and I had a position over the weekend, but it fit my patterns to a T, so I was like, you know what, screw it, I got to do it, whether it works or not. You know, I'm winning 70-75% of the time, so chances are it'll work. And guess what? It did. So I have to take advantage of these patterns. And frankly, if I were you, I would want to learn them because I don't see anybody else winning 60, 65, 70, 75% of the time like my top students and I do. If you want to follow an ugly bald-headed man on CNBC, guess what? He's right about 35 to 40% of the time. You might as well go to a casino and at least you'll get free drinks. The odds suck for most people. 90% of traders lose money. What makes me and my top students special? Are we math geniuses? Are we so intelligent? Do we cheat? Are we lucky? What's the answer? The answer is we work our butts off. We strategize. We are scientists in the stock market, testing different patterns, whether it's buying earnings winners, buying billionaire plays, shorting marijuana stock, shorting Ebola stock, shorting pump and dumps. Lately, we've seen a lot of low float stocks that have been runners, absolute junk companies that have been spiking. You know, I was buying SPU at $5.30. I sold it at $6 a few hours later. Very happy with my 10% plus profit. And then a week later, it's at 20. So some people are like, Tim, you're a terrible trader. You took profits way too soon. Yeah, I did. But did I know it was going to go to 20? No. I just had an idea. I was testing the strategy of low float runners, and I was right. So I want you to start getting in that mindset. This is not about following picks. This is not about hot stock picks. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is about testing and learning how to train your brain to spot and identify the best stocks and then try to trade them the best you can, whether you have 100 shares, 1,000 shares, 10,000 shares, or sometimes you can even get up to 100,000 shares. The key is starting small, always being comfortable when you're trading, never going so big that you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. This is so uncomfortable. And gradually learning what works for you, because we are all different. Some of us prefer buying, some of us prefer shorting, some of us like holding for a few minutes or hours, some of us prefer holding for a few days or weeks. There's no one right answer for everybody, and that's what makes trading and teaching trading so difficult. So I'm here in my pool. My fiance is taking a little nap. We had a big day, and you know, I'm here to show you that there's so much potential. There's literally an ocean of different strategies out there waiting for you to try. Now, most of the strategies, you're not going to find success. And most of the strategies, you're going to have to cut losses quickly. You know, I am wrong sometimes. And the key to my success is not letting a small loss turn into a potentially big disaster. So you have to learn some basic rules, and I'll teach you all these rules. You know, this is why I have all these DVDs and webinars and video lessons, and I give a weekly webinar every single week to my Trading Challenge students who can ask questions. So I'm here to help. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to show you a little positivity. I'm here to be real in an industry full of scams of people who promise to make you rich when, in fact, they have no millionaire students. And I don't want you to think that the journey that I'm promising you is going to be easy. There is no easy money in the stock market. This is not inside information. This is not luck. This is not manipulation. It's strategy and testing, and it takes time. Even my top student, Tim Grattani, who is now taking a few thousand and turned into 3.4 million in just over 4 years, he lost rather consistently for his first 6 months. So I don't want you getting discouraged early on. NH, who I brought up earlier, guess what? He blew up his account 5 or 6 times. Now, that's not the norm because my number one rule is cut losses quickly, but if you break the rules, guess what? You could lose all of your money. So I want you to be informed, and I want you to start small. Start studying now. I don't care where you are in the world, if you're a man or you're a woman. If you're under 18, you need parental consent. I'm sorry, I don't teach children. You need to get your parents on board with this, but I will teach you every single thing that I have learned. And frankly, you should take it because I'm entirely self-taught, and it took me way too long to learn a lot of lessons that I'm passing down to you. I made so many boneheaded mistakes. Every now and then I still do. You know, I'm not perfect, but you can really cut down your learning curve just by learning from me and my top millionaire students. This is why we give so many live webinars. We're here to help. We know how tough this industry is and how cruel it is when you don't have the proper information and no guidance. You know, we're not perfect, so don't expect us to be right every single time, but understand that we do mean well. And we're here to try and cut through the BS in this industry, in stock trading and penny stocks and the stock market. You know, this whole Wall Street scheme is kind of sickening if you actually look at the actual stats. And we just need to be real. And I wish more people would share all their trades transparently, like my top students and I do, so that you can learn from successes and failures. But that's not happening anytime soon. You know, most people are selfish. Most people in this industry are very introverted. They don't want other people talking to them or, you know, knowing about their trades and investments. And that's sad. You know, education is severely lacking. And that's what's given birth to this whole snake oil industry, where people who have no business teaching, people who have never made millions on their own, people who have never created any millionaires are teaching. And that's the sad state of the industry. And that's why it is my duty, not just my job, but my absolute just necessity in life to try and teach honestly and realistically. And a lot of the lessons I teach are kind of weird, I'll tell you that. They kind of go against what you think, but they're real. And the sooner you learn them, whether you learn them from me, whether you learn them from yourself over several years or decades, whether the market teaches you and you lose thousands or tens of thousands, it's totally your choice. If you're not a dedicated student, it's okay. I understand. I'm not offended. I'm already overwhelmed as it is with students, but I do want more dedicated students. So if that's you and you want office views like this and you want to learn how to make a few $100s or a few $1,000s a day, and it adds up over time, and then you can scale your account bigger once you get more comfortable after a few months, after a few years, well, then you talk to me and you go apply for my trading challenge. You go talk with my team, you fill out an application, and you see what you can do. I'm not just going to accept everybody. Don't feel bad if you get rejected. I'm sorry, but we look for a very specific type of student if you're dedicated and if you actually want to change your life, not if you have a bad attitude, not if you're just looking for hot picks. Because my top students and I give these live webinars every single week, you're in the room with us. And frankly, I don't want to subject my top students, and I don't want to subject myself to students with bad attitudes or wrong attitudes or people who want to waste time, because this is a serious business. And if you actually want to become a millionaire, you're going to have to work harder and study harder than you ever thought possible. And great success is possible, but it is not probable. And it's tough enough for me to create millionaires from scratch, even if you do have the right attitude. So if you have the wrong attitude, forget about it. Anyways, I'm gonna go inside, have some dinner, but just wanted to show you this view and give you a little spiel about my life's mission, because frankly, I love it. Thank you. My name is Tim Sykes, and I teach people to trade stocks. I am a self-made multimillionaire. So this is the ideal trade that I'm gonna talk about. I want you guys to understand every single aspect of this trade.